Mutiny was released on August 21st, 2026 to theaters, the latest Jason Statham action movie. The film's draw in marketing was Jason Statham being forced to fight his way through a cargo ship worth of bad guys, trying to save a container's worth of people being trafficked. Mutiny as a movie is as advertised, a Jason Statham action movie. Unfortunately, it is also the most mediocre film I've seen all year long. I'm Tom the Wizard Man, and this is the Fake Wizards review of Mutiny. If this review provides you any value at all, please like and subscribe, as we're making reviews practically every single day on different games, movies, and TV shows. Jason Statham stars as Cole Reed, a former Special Forces soldier and cop who currently works as a bodyguard for a billionaire family. Cole has a strong rapport with the father and head of a massive shipping empire, Tibu. The shipping empire business is currently in the final stages of being sold off to another company, as requested by Tibu's son Cameron, who he seeks to provide for. On the drive back home from Tibu's big retirement party, Cole and Tibu are caught in an ambush. Tibu is shot and passes away, and Cole is framed for his murder. In his effort to investigate the assassination, the path leads to the cargo ship the Artemis, which Cole boards as a seemingly normal dock worker. On board, Cole discovers that the ship is being used in a human trafficking operation, and the people employed and responsible for Tibu's death ties all the way back to the company that had just purchased it from him. Now Cole has to try and save these people and enact vengeance for the murder of Tibu. Webster's dictionary defines mediocre as of moderate or low quality, value, ability, or performance. Mutiny is a film that is on the moderate level of mediocre. It's not a bad film, but it certainly isn't a good one. The emotion I felt after finishing this movie was, Nothing about this film is exemplary or really warrants a trip to the theater to see it. Like, this movie feels like something you'd see just added onto Netflix or Hulu or even Tubi. The acting ranges from stiff and flat to actually bad. Jason Statham in this is just Jason Statham, the stoic character who's proficient in combat and firearms and seeks vengeance. Like, to the point where in the final scene, the villain's going, "What do you want?" And Jason Statham goes, "Vengeance." Annabelle Wallace is fine. Almost everyone in this film just feels flat. The villains dip into actually bad territory, with the character who's pulling all of the strings giving a performance like they've never acted before. Part of it, I think, is the script, which contains some of the most brain-dead dialogue and exposition that even a seasoned professional would have had difficulties delivering it. Like, it's bad, it's awkward, it feels clunky. The story has a decent start that I kind of enjoyed. The dynamic between Cole and his boss Tibu having a found family style sensation should have been a super compelling way for you to get invested in Cole seeking vengeance for Tibu's murder. But everything that happens just has this weightlessness to it. Mutiny as a movie is where a little more could have gone a long way. If this film fleshed out these characters just a little bit more, I think this movie could have been significantly better. The film goes and tells you that Cole's father was killed protecting him in the past, and he carries this sense of guilt for being responsible for his death. You'd think they would have used that in the first act to be motivation for Cole's character to get vengeance for Tibu, who gives off the sensation of being a pseudo-father figure to him. But it really doesn't. Cole going to find these people and get vengeance for Tibu feels like he's doing it because it's his job more than an actual emotional connection he had to this person. The explanation of what happened to Cole's dad happens in Act 2 during an exposition dump from the military, who also miraculously guesses what Cole is doing on the ship. Like, the puzzle pieces were present for this to be good, and they just put them together in a really weird and dumb way. Same thing with the action in this film. It's not bad. There's some sequences that are neat, but you're left wanting more. They cut a little too often, and at no point do you actually feel like Cole is ever in mortal danger. There's a couple scenes where he's on the back foot, but you're like, well, he's gonna get out of it because it's Jason Statham, and Jason Statham is just amazing at combat. The music in this also doesn't do this movie any favors. It is as generic and unforgettable as they come. A good action movie soundtrack will enhance the action and tension in a scene. The soundtrack in this fails at doing that. Mutiny tries to be an action thriller, but the action is alright, and the drama to fuel the tension of it being a thriller is subpar. I understand that action stars like Jason Statham will have their action movies, and a lot of times they're mediocre. Sure, if you're someone who's looking for that, Mutiny is probably right up your alley. But that mediocrity is what I have an issue with. I feel like many people have this consensus that if a movie's not bad, then it's good. And I strongly disagree with that. Being just okay isn't something that should be celebrated or defended. It's something that should be criticized as if it was a bad film. There's going to be people saying,
well, it's a Jason Statham movie. If you were expecting something different, that's on you.
And they may not be wrong, but shouldn't you want something better too? A common criticism that both Fake Wizard and I have gotten on our reviews on this channel is that we're too negative, or we just hate to hate, which is a bald-faced lie. We have covered movies, TV series, and games that we thoroughly enjoyed, several of which we have given a 10 out of 10 this year. Our critical viewpoint stems out of the desire for things to be better. Shouldn't you also want things to be better? One of the movies that we literally both agreed was a 10 out of 10 this year was the action movie, The Furious. It is an action movie about a deaf martial artist trying to save his daughter who was kidnapped by a trafficking ring. The Furious is awesome. If you want to watch an action film, go watch that instead. But if The Furious could be a 10 out of 10, why couldn't Mutiny be one? Why do you as an audience member have to settle for another helping of mediocre pie when they could have very easily changed up the ingredients to make this better? Everything that you would need to make a better film was in this film. It just was executed poorly. Thankfully, Mutiny is only an hour and a half, so it doesn't take up too much of your time. But as it is, Mutiny is a 5 out of 10. If this review provided you any value at all, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.